Alright guys, so here's the Matthew & Son, or MAS Irukandji. So I was actually sent this one a while ago for free. Don't have to send it back, but as always that's not going to change the way I do these reviews. I'm going to keep it 100% honest all the time, no matter what. Like I say, I've had this for quite a while, just not got around to doing the review yet. Just had a bit of a backlog with a load of other watches that needed getting out quicker, so this got pushed down the pecking order, but I'm getting around to doing it now, and this is what I thought of it. So this is the box you get it in. Pretty simple, the MAS branding on. But then you do get a really nice watch roll. Again, with the branding on. It's always nice to have a watch roll or some kind of reusable box, pouch type thing, instead of just a cardboard box that's going to take up space. So, you do actually get a second strap with this. So this is a canvas one, and it is actually quick release too, which is a nice touch. Not actually had it on this strap because I've been really liking the bracelet it comes on, but it is a nice thing to have. So before I get onto the watch, quickly show you the links that I've taken out. So I've taken out 4 links, but they are really nicely done. You've got the brushed centres, 3-piece, and then you've got these little end pieces which are actually polished, and then we've got screw links as well, which are always good to see. So no issues with that. And then we've got the watch itself. Pop that to one side. So here's the watch itself, and the reason it's called the Irukandji is because of this case shape. Really unique case shape. It's actually based on the jellyfish of the same name. If you don't know what that is, I'll leave a picture on screen now so you can see. But I do really like it, it is really cool. Granted, it's pretty chunky, but I think it's just part of the overall design. And I'll show you in a bit what it actually wears like on wrist still. So, the other cool thing with this watch is they have loads of different dial colours, and not your standard blacks, whites, etc. I think they do actually have a black as well, but they do have some really interesting ones. So this one I've got here is the red one, which is called the Seastorm Red. They also have, I think it's yellow, purple, green, I think there might be a pink. There's loads of crazy colours. So if you want something a little bit more funky, not your standard boring colours, this is definitely an interesting watch to check out. As always, links will be down in the description if you want to check it out. But getting back to this one, let's get a zoom in on the dial. So, we've got a fully printed dial, nothing applied, which I don't mind too much. Possibly would have preferred applied indices, but I think it works. Plus, you just get more lumen if you've got applied ones, as opposed to just printed or painted on loom. But we'll check out the lumen a bit, see what that's like. And you could probably see straight away we've got some crazy distortion going on with that crystal, because it is really domed. We'll be checking in a bit if it's sapphire. So we've got a ceramic bezel insert, and it's 120 click. So I'll quickly zoom back out, show you that in action. It is really nice and absolutely rock solid. No issues with that. And it lines up nicely as well, which is always good to see. The other interesting thing about this watch that you've probably noticed straight away is this crown here. So they actually give you an option. You can either have it at the 10 o'clock, like I've got here, or you can get it in the 4 o'clock position, which I think is a really nice touch. Just again, something a little bit different, a little bit quirky. I do like it. So let's take a quick look at this rest of this bracelet. So, like I said before, it is a really nice bracelet. And we've got a clasp here with plenty of micro adjust. So getting the perfect size should not be an issue at all. And we've got the branding on there, which is nice. And then we've just got a little fold over. And then this is probably one thing I would change. It is just a friction based clasp. I would have preferred probably push buttons maybe. Can be a little bit awkward sometimes if you've got short nails. But it's secure enough, no issues with that. But like I say, it can be a little bit awkward sometimes. Something to bear in mind. So let's get a look at this case back. So there it is, there's the jellyfish it's named after, that Irukandji. And you can see that we've got the Irukandji written on there as well. The fact that it's stainless steel, sapphire crystal, 200 meters water resistant, and it's got an NH35. Interestingly, this isn't actually a quick release bracelet, even though the canvas strap is. A little bit odd, but you've got drilled lugs, so shouldn't be too big a deal. And then we've also got the sign crown as well, which is a nice touch. Zoom back out. Ooh. Sometimes get confused with that crown being up there, especially when it comes to winding as well. In fact, talk about that now. So unwind it, get a nice pop, pull it out once, and then you can change the date, and then obviously pull it out again. Second hand stops because you got hacking, the NH35, and then you can just change the time. Just move them out of the way so you can see that dial properly. Yeah, sometimes if I have issues screwing this in, I'll flick it around like this, do it like that, because I just can't really get used to it sometimes with it being up there, but it's not a big deal. It's just one of those things you've got to get used to if you do decide to have it up there, but again, like I said, you can have it back down at the 4. So, zoom back in on the dial again, and just quickly show you that Irukandji at the 6, the 200 meter water resistant, and like I said before, the printed MAS logo at the top. Got a nice frame around the date window. Some people might have said they'd have preferred a colour match date window. I actually prefer it being white. I think it blends in with the indices better, but I guess that's personal taste. So, seeing as zoomed in, I'll quickly show you a bit more detail on this bezel, because it is really nice. Got plenty of grip on that, but I do like the way it's kind of flush with the case as well. Like I said before, just a really nice design, really nice case shape, and as you can see as well, we've got nice curvature to those lugs. They slope down nicely, so it should wear quite nicely on wrist, which I'll show you in a bit. But now all that's out of the way, let's get on to the measurements. Starting with, in fact, quickly do this up. So it's out of the way. Starting with the thickness. So it is a rather thick watch, at just over 15mm. But again, with this kind of design, with that really domed crystal, I don't mind it too much. Some people might think it's a little too big, but again, I'll show you what it's like on wrist in a bit. Got diameter of 42mm, lug width of 20, and with the way this bracelet falls straight down, you don't have any protruding male end link, even though it kind of does, but it's not an issue because it does hang straight down. So the lug to lug is still actually pretty compact, coming in at just under 46, which is really nice. So now let's check out that crystal, see if it is actually sapphire. Using the trusty diamond selector tool. And yeah, we have got sapphire crystal. So that is really nice, especially with it being so domed as well. You don't see that too often with a dome that big. So I do like that a lot. And as you'll know if you've seen my videos before, I just am a sucker for domed crystal. I just love the distortion it gives. But that being said, I think there is some AR coating on this, so you only really get the distortion at the extreme angles. So if you're worried about distortion, you don't need to be. So now let's check out the loom on this. So you can just about see we've got a tiny bit there already, but let's charge it up. Now I've got a new UV torch after my last one died on me in a previous video. So I decided to up it a bit. So this one's a little bit stronger, so I shouldn't need to do this as long. And there we go. So that is really good loom. Really liking that. It's interesting that they've got a slightly different colour for the loom pip as opposed to the rest of the indices and the dial, and the rest of that bezel as well actually. But I do like that they've loomed the whole of the bezel. Really nice touch. But as you can tell, it's not the brightest loom. And because those indices aren't applied, they're just painted on, they tend to fade a little bit quicker than the rest. But the hands do hang on a bit longer, which is always good. So if you can have one going before the other, obviously you want the hands to stay around longer, and they do. And it stays at this kind of level now, well the hands do anyway, for a decent amount of time. Not brilliant, but pretty good. Is it great loom? No, but it's decent. And as always, it is actually slightly brighter in person than it's showing up on camera, so just bear that in mind too. So all that's left to do now is show it you on wrist, and this is what it looks like on my 7-inch wrist. So like I was saying before, with that really compact lug to lug, it does wear really nicely still. Obviously it's going to be quite tall, but because of the shape of it, it does actually feel a bit slimmer than the measurements would suggest. And depending on what kind of clothes you're wearing as well, you can actually have stuff slip over it quite nicely because of that dome shape. But it's not going to be a subtle watch anyway, especially with these kind of dial colours you get. And I, for one, don't really mind that. I do quite like it. It's just something a little bit different, a little bit more out there, I guess. Not going to be to everyone's taste, but I really like it, and I really recommend it. So again, if you're interested in picking one up, link's down in the description. But that's it for this one guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.